Are you able to see my screen? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So Norton theorem is just a complementary theorem of Thevenin's theorem. In Thevenin's theorem, what we did, we had one complicated network. From in that complicated network, we have to find current through a particular resistance. So to solve that, what we did, we considered the rest of the part as an equivalent voltage source, which will have a internal resistance RTH, and it will have a source voltage which is VTH. So that was our theorem. Actually, we have to approximate the entire network, leaving the load resistance through which we have to find current. We consider that rest of the part as a equivalent voltage source. But Norton theorem also, it is saying the same thing. Only thing is, instead of approximating that rest of the network as a equivalent voltage source, it is approximated as a equivalent current source. Okay, so here, if we go through, Norton theorem states that for a linear two-terminal circuit means once we have opened the load resistance, then it is becoming a two-terminal. For that circuit, the rest of the part, once we have taken out the load resistance, this is the linear two-terminal circuit. We can approximate it in terms of a current source. Equivalent circuit consists of a current source which is having a constant current of IN in parallel with a resistor RN, which is the internal resistance of that current source, where IN is the short circuit through the terminal RN, and the input, and RN is the input or equivalent resistance at that terminal. Okay. So if we want to state the theorem properly, let us go through the theorem, what it is written. Any two terminal of a network composed of a linear passive and active linear bilateral, also we should write it, passive and active elements may be replaced by an equivalent current source in parallel with an equivalent resistance. So for Thevenin theorem, we have to replace the circuit with the equivalent. Just a minute, hold on please. ফিরোজ, আমি একটা ক্লাসে আছি হ্যাঁ? হুম, হুম। So maybe replaced by an equivalent current source in parallel with equivalent resistance. This is for Norton. For Thevenin, what was their equivalent voltage source in series with the equivalent internal resistance? So what is internal resistance for VTH? This was the internal resistance which is in series. We wrote it in terms of RTH and VTH for Thevenin equivalent. The same thing we can replace in terms of now a current source with a current IN, and it is having a internal resistance RN, which is in parallel to current source, right? The current source is equal to the short circuit current flowing from one terminal to other. That means when you take out the load resistance and then you short it, then you will get a current through that shorted path, which is IN. That is called the that is actually the IN value. The current source is equal to the short circuit current IN from one terminal to other. The parallel resistance, this RN actually, which is in shunt with current source, is the equivalent resistance, same terminology, looking into the terminal with all the sources replaced by their equivalent or internal resistance, right? So actually what happens, the way you find out RTH is same as what is actually RTH, that is actually RN only for the Norton. Only thing is RN we put in terms of shunt resistance, and RTH we put in series. So if we want to convert this voltage source, which we got from the Thevenin equivalent uh, uh, Thevenin equivalent theorem. So this is the VTH and RTH we got from the Thevenin theorem. If we want to convert this voltage source into current source, what we do, as I told, VTH by RTH, that is the current source, and we have to keep this RTH now in shunt. So now you check what we do. We are actually shorting this to terminal. So when we short it, this is your IN, and IN here, after we get the Thevenin equivalent, it is VTH by RTH when we short this to terminal, taking out the load resistance. So this is your IN, and that is equal to VTH by RTH, and RTH we can put in terms of shunt. Okay, so this is what the Norton theorem is, and the steps will be very similar to that of Thevenin theorem. We are coming into that. So Norton equivalent current equal to VTH by RTH, that we have already found out. To find RN, it follows three method as given in the Thevenin circuit. So one is looking into the terminal by replacing all the sources by their equivalent or internal resistance. Or what we can do, we can find out the VTH open circuit voltage, and then IN is your short circuit current. In case of Thevenin, what we did, we found the open circuit voltage and the short circuit current. So here, what is short circuit current? That is equal to your IN. So what else you have to find out? You have to find out the open circuit voltage. So then VOC by ISC, or rather VTH by IN, will give you your RN. So this is the second method. Third method is to add a 1 ampere source in series with your RL load resistance, and then you can find out the drop across the voltage drop across it, and from there you can find it out. Okay, so that is the third point. So using these three methods, you can again find out RN just like the way you found out the RTH. Okay, here to determine Thevenin or Norton equivalent circuit, we require to find out open circuit voltage AB, short circuit current, as I told, equivalent or input resistance at terminal AB when all the independent sources are turned off. Okay, and what are the steps we have to follow? First step is to open a pure load resistance, and then you short that to terminal. So that is the first step, and then you measure. You can measure it. You can either theoretically calculate it, or when you are doing experimentally, you can just open the load resistance, or you can just parallelly connect one ammeter. So that will give you the short circuit current. So you get short circuit current means you have the IN, and then what you do, you have to open the load resistance, and you have to measure the voltage across the open terminal using a voltmeter. So you get the open circuit voltage, and then VOC by ISC will give you the RN. Okay, once you have that, then you can find out the Norton equivalent like this. So if we try to find out the uh, final expression between Norton and Thevenin, so let us assume that load resistance equal to RL, and this is your IN. So IN equal to what? IL equal to what? This is your IL. IL equal to IN into RN by L plus RN, isn't it? So what is Rn actually as per the
This
Thevenin?
is current division rule.
Yes, this is current division rule. So current division rule you get from the concept, if the voltage drop across this is V, V is equal to I1 Rn and IL RL. So once you have that, then you will get the ratio between these two current, and then total current equal to IN. So from that you can get it. Okay, that is called current branching rule. So once you have this, now you know, as I told, it is having a direct relationship with the Thevenin theorem. So IN equal to VTH by RN, that also you can write it here. So it is VTH by RN or RTH. RN can be written as RTH, and then RTH plus RL. So this RTH will cancel out, and you are left with VTH divided by RL plus RTH. So you can cross check that what you get from the Thevenin theorem, the same thing you are getting using Norton theorem, just by replacing the entire network in terms of a current source. Okay. So Unless and otherwise it is specified in question paper, you can either solve it using Thevenin theorem, Norton theorem, superposition theorem, and superposition theorem you can apply only when there are multiple sources. If not, then either of two, or you can follow the loop analysis, nodal analysis, whatever is convenient to you, if it is not specified. If it is specified, then obviously you have to follow the same method. So let us take one example, and then I'll just once again show you how we did in our lab class, the same setup. How can we calculate IN, and then how can we calculate the RN there, and then we'll go back to the same problem which we have considered when we first started the superposition theorem. So I have cross-checked using Thevenin theorem. I have cross-checked with superposition theorem. The same problem now we'll cross-check with our Norton theorem. Okay, so we'll do that. So in this particular problem, you see there are two sources, and you have to find out, derive the Thevenin and Norton equivalent for this circuit. So here load resistance is already open. There is a one RL which is not given here. It is open. So we have to find out the Thevenin equivalent. Thevenin equivalent, let us first do Norton and then we'll do it using Thevenin theorem. So what we do here, or what you think, how can we find out the Norton equivalent? First task is to short these two terminal, isn't it? And then we have to find out IN through it. So to do that, what we are doing here, you see, we can convert this current source into voltage source. There is one resistance in parallel. So what we can do, we can convert, we can do source conversion of this current source which is in parallel with the 20 ohm resistance. Or what else we can do, we can convert this other part which is voltage source into current source, and then we can redraw the circuit. So what is done here, this part is remaining same. We have converted the voltage source in series with 5 ohm resistor. We have converted into current source. So what we did, 25 by 5 is your 5 ampere current, which is your current source, and then this 5 ohm is in parallel. So that we did. Then what is to do, then we have to find out the IN and internal resistance. So what we can do here, this is the polarity of the current. This is entering towards A. It is going towards A. 3 ampere is also going towards A and B. A and B. Huh? So then both the effect are additive. So 3 plus 5 equal to your 8 ampere source, right? And this is the total effective current flowing towards this terminal A. And once we short it, then we can redraw it like this. This is your total 8 ampere source, effective current, and this 5 ohm and 20 ohm, we can take the equivalent resistance and we can draw it like it is 20 into 5 divided by 20 plus 5, so 100 by 25, which is equal to 4 ohm, right? And here also, so after that you have this 4 ampere, 4 ohm resistor, which is this, and this is your A and this is your B. Now this A and B we have to join to find out the Norton current IN. So what will be your Norton current IN? It is basically 8 into 4 by 8. So 4 ampere. Again we found it by current branching rule, isn't it? Same resistance, so it will be equally divided. So 4 ampere is your IA. So what is your Norton equivalent then? What is your next task? Next task is to find out the internal resistance by replacing the sources with their internal resistance. So now, or equivalent resistance. So now what is there? Uh, we have this 8 ampere source, current source. So ideal current source will be replaced by open circuit. So what is there between A and B? This is the 4 ampere, 4 ohm. This is 4 ohm. This is A and B. So we have to look into the through the terminal A and B, and while replace the other sources by their internal resistance. So 8 ampere, it is open circuit. So what is your Rn? Effective Rn is equal to 4 plus 4, 8 ohm. So what is your Norton equivalent then? Norton equivalent is equal to In. This is A. This is B. This is 8, which is your Rn. 8 ohm and In equal to 4 ampere. So this is your Norton equivalent, right? And to solve it using Thevenin equivalent, what we can do, we can convert this current source into voltage source, and the direction is in this way. So it is 25 and then it is 3 into 20, so 60, right? So what we are getting here, if we do a source conversion, it is 25. Let us do it in a separate slide. So here it is done in one throw. Let us do it separately. It is 25 and 5 in series, 25 volt. This is 5, and then current source we have replaced by a voltage source. So it is 3 ampere, 20, so 60, right? So this is your 60 volt. It is 20 ohm, and this is your AB. So what is your VAB? If this is V, then if we consider the KVL here, or you can use the loop also, whatever is convenient to you. So 25 minus V divided by 5 is equal to V minus 60 divided by 20. So let us now solve it. So it is 4. So 100 minus 4V equal to V minus 60. So 160 equal to 5 V. So V equal to what? 32, isn't it? So you have this V. This V is nothing but VAB. This is the open circuit voltage. So VTH equal to V equal to 32 volt, isn't it? And RTH is same as RN. So what we can do, we can replace these two sources by their internal resistance. So we'll short these two terminal and we are left with 5 ohm and 20 ohm. This is your RTH. RTH. So it is 20 into 5. No. Oh, 4 ohm I missed out here. There is one 4 ohm. Sorry. So this is 4. 4 plus 4. There is 4 ohm. Sorry. So total 8. So total 8 you can RTH write like this, or if you have find out RN in exam, if it is told you to verify it RTH, to verify the problem with voltage, Thevenin theorem and as well as the Norton theorem, then for the RN you can write, once you, if you solve first with RN, then you can find out RN, and then next step you can directly straight away write RTH equal to RN. Okay. So this is how you can solve it. And if the load resistance value is specified between A and B, any value, any for any load, you can solve the current through it. Okay, and cross check. So this is the way how you should solve using voltage and current sources, or if required, if you wish to solve using your standard method like nodal analysis and whatever, this is the easiest approach. So that's why I followed this. Otherwise, if you don't want to convert the source, current source into voltage source or voltage source into current source, you can do nodal analysis, because whenever in presence of current source, now it will be always easy to follow the nodal analysis. So if you do a nodal analysis at these 2 points, these are the two nodes, say node 1 and node 2. In that way also you can solve it. I have no objection in that. So you can always try that same method, or you can just merge these two nodes because it is in the same point. So for a single node you can solve it, no issue. Okay. So I'll ask you to solve in your own way. using nodal analysis, or if you want to apply loop here, that also possible. So that also you can do, and then you can cross check with the value. Okay.
Sir, sir,
Yes.
one doubt, sir. Sir,
Hmm.
here in that question, if we did not have that 5 ohm, then how would we convert that 24 5 volt into the current source?
No, only whenever you have ideal source, na, without any when with ideal source you have a resistance, in that time only you can do it. Otherwise, say like if you have a simple if we go back to the same problem, if we have the simple 25 volt source and there is no resistance in series, so we'll leave it like this. We cannot convert it into current source. We have to leave it like this, and then you have to explore the other method which you can. Then what we can do, we can leave the 25 as it is, we can convert this into the source, and then in that way we can solve it. Okay. We can do source conversion here, or rather you can, if it is 25, then you know that this potential is 20, so then how much current will be flowing through it using nodal analysis, you can do it. You cannot convert it. Once you have only in series, then only you can do it, otherwise no. Like if there is no source in parallel through this current source, if this 20 ohm is in series with this, if it is not present na, then you cannot convert the current source into voltage source. Okay, then you have to follow the nodal analysis, no other choice.
Sir,
Okay.
why, sir, we can't convert it?
Because you don't know na, this is possible only when there is internal resistance of. For the ideal case, what will happen in case of ideal voltage source, there is a value, say 25 volt, and r equal to r, your internal resistance equal to 0, which we are assuming as 5 ohm, isn't it? So if it is not present, then something divided by 0 means what, infinite. You won't get the accurate value of the current source. Okay, so that's why it is not possible to find it out.
Sir,
But
I was actually
continue.
asking about the current source. I understood about
Current
the.
source. So current source means what? If it is infinite, then what will happen? There is a ideal current source means your this shunt resistance. This is your I current source, and there is the shunt resistance. This is Rn, and that is actually open circuit. So then, how can you find out the drop I into Rn? You cannot find it now. Theoretically, you cannot do it. That's why. Okay, I'll again think of. I'll try to justify it with this. I told you from the mathematical point of view, but I'll try to give one physical explanation. Let me think. Then I'll try to give a better explanation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So maximum power transfer theorem we have done. So let us now go to problems.
Sir, one more question, sir.
Hmm.
This Norton theorem and Thevenin theorem, do
Hmm.
they have different applications? Means they are actually seeming to be relatively same theorem. So do they have different application? Or
No, you can, for any network you can either apply Thevenin theorem or Norton theorem as per your convenience. So it's like that on. Like superposition theorem is also correct. If you solve one problem using superposition theorem, that is also okay. If you solve with Thevenin theorem, that is also okay. And it depends on the preferences. Okay, the way we want to neutralize the circuit. Say if you remember, Madam told when she was taking class for the practical classes, she told that for a transmission line, and I also told there are distributed resistances, capacitances, inductances. So what we do, we find the equivalent thing. So there, sorry, there will be a, if there is a transmission line, na, say we have a transformer here. So this is your generator, and then you have a transformer with which you are stepping up, and then you have a long transmission line which will having a resistance power meter. Then small capacitances will be formed between ground and that. So with the help of with this distributed parameter, we can take in the form of a lumped parameter. And for the transformer also we have a equivalent circuit which you will learn in your practical classes. So you will see that we'll get a network. Okay, so this is your voltage source, but these are AC nevertheless. So you will get a resistance, then say inductance, and then capacitance, which is now it is lumped, say. So this is your R, this is your C. So now if you connect with this distribution network, and if you find it is convenient to solve using current source, you can get a Norton equivalent like this, or you can go for the Thevenin sources, the Thevenin equivalent, and back to get a voltage source to find out the branch current to a particular branch. So after transmission, there will be distribution network. Na? In distribution network, if you really want to do a load flow, so it depends up to you whether you will take up the Thevenin equivalent or Norton theorem, Norton equivalent. It's up to you the way you want to solve it. Okay, so these are actually the practical application where you can use this Thevenin theorem or Norton theorem uh, in electrical engineering from electrical engineering point of view. Okay, but there is no hard and fast rule that only not apply Norton here and only apply Thevenin here. It depends on the choice of the designer. So for me, if I found that there are more number of current sources in any particular circuit, I always try to follow the Norton theorem, because it will be easier for or we'll do nodal analysis in that cases. So those things are small trick which you have to remember. If there are more number of current sources, then it is easier to solve using Norton theorem, and if there are more voltage sources, then using Thevenin theorem. That is the approach actually people follow. There is no specific application for the Norton theorem.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let us now move to so this slide I'll share with you. In last class, whatever I wrote in the whiteboard, I have shared with you. It is there in team. I think if you check, you will follow. You will be able to find it out. Okay. So I am again drawing the same problem which we have considered for the superposition theorem. Now we'll solve it using Norton theorem, and we'll cross check whether we got this, we'll get the same result or not. So initially this is now IN. If you look back the previous example, this was your A and B terminal, and between that there was a 3 ohm resistor. So here earlier there was a 3 ohm resistor through which we have to find out your current. So we now consider it as load, and then we just forget it, we open it and then short these two terminals A and B. In keeping also this 3 ohm resistor, if you short these two terminal A and B, you will get IN through it, because no current will be flowing through this 3 ampere 3 ohm resistor. Fine. So now use the uh, we'll use the nodal analysis to find out your IN. So let us take first the node 1. What is your node 1? As I told, when there is a current source through a branch, so whatever current will be flowing through it should be equal to your 3 ampere here only. So if you apply KCL at node A, it will be 3, which is equal to, if this is VA, then VA minus of minus 1, so VA plus 1 divided by 2 plus IN at node 1, not 1, node A, right? Agree? As there is a current source, so it will always have whatever be the resistance, whatever be the value of it, always 3 ampere current will be flowing through this branch. So at this node it is 3 is entering and these two are outgoing. So outgoing means it is flowing from VA towards this ground, so VA minus of of uh, minus 1, which is VA plus 1 divided by 2 ohm. This is this branch current, that plus IN will be flowing from A to B, right? This is for the node A. Then at node B, IN, it will start with IN, na? IN will be flowing through this towards B, and from B 3 ampere current source is flowing, so through this path it will be always 3 ampere. So IN entering and 3A is outgoing, so IN equal to 3. And if we take this as from here to there, or you can just think it as B to this, so 3 plus VB, if the potential is VB here, so VB minus 2 divided by 2, isn't it? This is the KCL here. So this is equation 1. This is your equation 2. Now what clue is there? When you join these two terminal A and B, you can always write VA equal to VB equal to V, right? So what you can do, you can substitute this either here, you can put the IN value here, you can substitute IN here, so we can write it as 3 minus VA plus 1, or rather we can write it V. So V plus 1 by 2 is equal to 3 plus V minus 2 by 2. So that 3 will cancel out, and what we are left with, minus V minus 1 is equal to V minus 2. So V equal to what? 2V equal to 1. That implies V is equal to 0.5 or half volt, whatever it is. So if you know what is V, the half volt, then you can substitute it here and you can get the value of IN, right? So what will be your IN? IN will be equal to 3 plus 0.5 minus 2 by 2. So 3 plus, it will be minus, actually minus 1.5 by 2. So it is 3 by 4. So it is what? 9 by 4 ampere. So this is your IN, and what is your RN? The same way you have to open it between A and B, you have to open all the sources. So I'll open this source. This is open terminal between A. So A is 2 ohm. Then for this it will be shorted. Then again for 1 ampere, 1 ohm, this 3 ampere source we can open it. So it will be like that only. And then this is your B, and there is another 2. So this is 2, and then these two are shorted. So between A and B, what is your effective RN? RN is equal to 2 plus 2, which is equal to 4, isn't it? So this is equal to 4. Then what is to do? You can find out the IL or IAB, which is having a 3 ohm resistor. So current through it will be IN into RN by Rn plus RL. So In will be 9 by 4 into Rn will be 4, then it is 4 plus 3, 7. So it is 9 by 7, which is 1.285 approximately that ampere. Now you cross check, you will get the same result using the Thevenin theorem. What we found, that is equal to same for the Norton, same for the Thevenin, same for the superposition. Okay, right? So now using all these three theorems, we can show that it is verified. So there are many problems on network theorem, which let us see how far we can solve it. Another 2-3 classes, but you have to keep on practicing, right? So there won't be any unique problem, because you can understand if we do all combination with some voltage, current, so different situation will come up, and that we have to handle different in a different way. Like here also, if you wish, you can see there is one voltage source with a resistor in series, so you can always convert this into a current source. But this one, you can, this path also you can convert into current source and you can solve it. So it's up to you the way you want to solve it, and it comes by practice. Okay. Let us, as time is there, let us quickly go through how we can solve using Norton theoretically. The
Sir,
experimental. Yes, hello.
sir, I have a doubt.
Continue.
Sir, what is J3 ohm means? Came across some in there. It was written in the above of an inductance J3 ohm. What do you mean by J3 ohm?
J3 home means it is a imaginary part. How it is coming, I'll tell you later when I'll discuss with AC sources and AC network theorem. AC network also we have to analyze. No, what is the
It
expression?
was a
How?
sum of superposition theorem means uh, it was some J3 ohm. It was written, but in calculation I got J. How to calculate the J ones?
J is complex thing, and it is coming because of the frequency. Whenever you have a AC source, it will have a frequency, right? Say whenever you have a, say 20 volt AC, so it is actually 20 into sine omega t plus 5 something is there, or
Yes, sir.
simply omega t. So
Yes, sir.
that particular omega, it is considered to be imaginary, so it is
Okay.
written in terms of J. How all these things are coming, it will be more clear when we'll start the AC. So if you have a resistor like this, say R resistor and inductor, which is L, say it is 50 millihenry, and resistance is 100 ohm or say 50 ohm, then you can find out the effective impedance, we call it, which is R plus J into omega L, where J equal to 314, which is our standard 50 hertz. We have 50 hertz source, na 50 hertz frequency. So
Yes.
22 into 3.1514 into 50 will give you 314. So that 314 into L 50 millihenry.
Okay.
So this we have to solve, and we can put J here. And then once J is there, then effective impedance we can write in terms of root over 50 square plus this whole thing. 314 into 50 into 10 to the power minus 3
So
whole
basically,
square.
J is nothing but the I that we have in complex numbers. No, basically we are
Huh?
representing complex plane. The J which we are using here, it is represented as a complex plane also, no, in I.
Complex plan.
50%.
So here in I operator, we do not write in terms of I, but we write in terms of J. The same concept actually. Instead of I,
So
in electrical engineering,
phasor
we
diagram,
write J.
in phasor diagram we draw na, like y-axis
Uh,
is L, axis is
it's like
negative
this.
I
This is
capacitance.
J. This is J. So if we have to plot it, we can plot it like this. This is your 50 amp, 50 volt resistance, and this is your inductance. So some line like this. This is your impedance. This is your
Okay.
J. So
Yes.
this is the complex thing. Usually in 10 plus 2 level, you can you have written mostly in terms of I, right? In complex algebra, we
Yes.
write in terms of I, but in electrical engineering, the convention is to write J to avoid confusion with I, because I is always written in terms of current. So to avoid it, we write J. Same concept is same.
So another doubt means another I got this 50 at an angle of 90 voltage source. Means what do you mean by the angle 90? 50 at an angle of 90 V.
50 at an angle of 90 means it can be written in terms of complex. If you have a complex uh, quantity, na, I am writing again in terms of I. Say this is your x and this is iy. Okay, so this is what you can find out if you draw it in Argand plane. It is a square plus y square, which we can write in terms of r, and this is the theta, which can be written as tan inverse y by x. So whenever we have 90, whenever we have theta equal to 90, then what will happen? The point will lie on the imaginary axis. Say if we have 0 plus ji into 5. So it is what? It will having a magnitude of 5 with angle 90 degree. So whenever you have plus 90 degree, so whenever you have plus 90 degree, you can write as J 50 for the AC network. Okay, so that means it is having a capacitance of 50 ohm impedance. Okay,
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
purely imaginary quantity because there is no resistance involved present in it. It's the ideal condition. Okay, no resistance
Okay.
is present. Similarly, if we have a inductance, so there is no resistive part, so purely inductive circuit, and it will have a impedance, or we call it susceptance in case of pure inductance or capacitance, which is equal to 50. Sorry, not susceptance, we call it reactance. Resistance and reactance, combining these two, we get a impedance. Okay, so we often do this kind of conversion between when we solve the problem. We convert the Cartesian into polar, polar into Cartesian for the ease of solving problems. So that will do it with the help of calculator. So you will find in your scientific calculator there is one operator which is called conversion from rectangular to polar, polar to rectangular. So these things we'll do with the help of scientific calculator when we'll solve the AC network theorem, or we'll solve the AC circuits. Okay. Whatever we have learned in this DC network theorem, same thing we have to solve using AC network. Only thing is resistance will be changed by resistance along with inductance and capacitances. So only the approach will change. The concept, the theorem remains intact. Okay. The solution approach will change because of the presence of your AC element. I mean your inductive capacitive elements. Okay. Okay, so we should conclude today's class here, and I'll just quickly call your name. Please tell if they are not present, their friend can. I am presenting your names here. Okay. So those who are not there in this class, not joined, one of you please let me know. I'll just mark them and add them up. So first name is Orin. Can you see it? Can you see the names?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Orin Shah there.
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Okay, Harsh Kumar, roll number 2,
Present, sir.
3,
Present, sir.
4, 5. Roll number 4.
Yes,
Is
sir.
he there in this class? Okay, fine. 5,
Yes, sir.
6,
Yes, sir.
7,
Yes, sir.
8,
Yes, sir.
9,
Yes, sir.
10. Roll number 10, Yash. Okay, I'll check him whether he is there. 11. Roll number 11, Keshav. 12.
Present, sir.
12 is there. 13,
Present, sir.
14,
Present, sir.
15, 16,
Sir,
15 present. Orgojit.
sir, roll number 10.
Okay. Orgojit, roll number 15. Amanjyoti. Okay, I'll check them. Vikram Shana, roll number
Yes, sir.
17. Okay, 18. Roll number
Present,
18.
sir.
19. 20.
Present, sir.
21.
Yes, sir.
22.
Present, sir.
23. 24. Roll number 23. Tanmoy.
24 present, sir.
24. Okay, fine. 25.
Yes, sir.
26.
Present, sir.
27.
Present, sir.
28.
Present, sir.
29. Drishti.
Sir.
Okay. 30.
Present, sir.
Roll number 30 present. Roll number 30. 31. Hello. Menka. Okay, fine. 32.
Present, sir.
33.
Present, sir. Jadipto Nag.
34. Chougato. 35.
Present, sir.
36. 37. 36, 37. None of you. 38.
Present, sir.
39.
Present, sir.
40.
Present, sir.
41.
Yes, sir.
42.
Present, sir.
43. 43. Vidisha.
Present, sir.
Okay. 44. There is some noise. I cannot hear you properly.
Sir, you can mute Sunita.
Who?
Okay, sir. She is muted.
Okay, fine. Till Vidisha, I think I have gone through 44. 44 is there in this class. 45. 44, 45. 46. 47.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 48.
Present, sir.
49.
Present, sir.
50.
Yes, sir.
51.
Present, sir.
52. 52. 53.
Present, sir.
54.
Yes, sir. Present. Aditya present.
Okay, 55.
Present, sir. Monodeep Bawari.
56.
Present, sir.
Okay, 57.
Present, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
okay.
55 amount you are saying.
Okay, you are present. Fine. Okay, then 56. Divyanshu.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
57. 57.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. 58. 59. 59. Tanisha. 60.
Present, sir.
61.
Present, sir.
62.
Present, sir.
63.
Present, sir.
64.
Present, sir.
65.
Present, sir.
66.
Present, sir.
66 present. 67. 68.
Present, sir.
68 Ishika. 67, I think he responded.
68 present, Ishika.
Okay, fine. 69.
Present, sir.
70. Okay.
Present, sir.
70. 71.
Present, sir.
72.
Present, sir.
73,
72 present, sir.
70, okay. 73, 74,
Present, sir.
75, 76,
Present, sir.
77,
Yes, sir.
78, 78, Priyadarshini, 79, 80,
Present, sir.
81, 82,
Present, sir.
82 present, right? 83,
Yeah.
84,
Present, sir.
Promita, right? 84, you are present.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 85,
Present, sir.
86,
Present, sir.
87, 88,
Present, sir.
okay. 89,
Present, sir.
90, 91,
Present, sir.
92,
Sir, excuse me, sir.
sir.
91 present, okay. 92 present, Ritika, right?
Present, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Roll number?
91. Sir, 91. I am not added in my MS team, sir. Please add me, sir.
Okay. Your institute ID is there. I'll add you.
Okay.
Sir, 59 is present. The mic was not working back then.
Who? Roll number?
59.
59. Okay, Tanisha. Okay, fine. Okay,
Sir,
I'll
91.
now. Oh, 91. I have marked you. Red. I'll add you. 91.
Add me, sir.
Sir,
I'm
my name
present.
not there, sir.
Huh?
Sir, Surab
Yes.
Amarnath, the name not there, sir.
Aman. Roll number?
Surab Amarnath.
What is your roll number? Amarnath. AMAR.
Yes, sir.
NATH.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it is not there. Your roll number, your section I, Amarnath. You got your roll number?
No, sir.
Have you got? Not yet got. Okay, tell me your name. I'll inquire with academic section. AMARNATH, Amarnath.
DJ.
Sorry, repeat.
Sir, I am from section A, sir.
Section A.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So then you should not attend this class, na? You should attend the section A's class. In section A, you should not be having EEC 01 in this semester, if I'm not wrong. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it's me, Keshav, sir. Sir, actually, I got disconnected from Wi-Fi because of electricity failure.
Okay. Roll number. Tell me your roll number.
11, sir.
11. Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, anyone who is not out of you, anyone here who is not included in the team, please tell me. Like 91 told, na, he is not added.
Yes, sir.
Bala Raju. So I'll now add you manually. Okay. Okay, thank you. The red mark I'll check, and if not added, I'll add them. Thank you.
Sir, roll number 52, Aman Kumar Singh, sir.
52. Roll number 52. You have responded to. You have not added, you are saying.
No, sir, attendance.
Oh, no, this is not for attendance. Actually, I am just checking who are not present here. So I have to add them manually. That's why. Okay. Okay. Thank you then. Thanks for your patience.
Thanks, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.